They're not here at the meeting. They're not here at the meeting. No, they were temporary jobs. They were just temporary jobs to start with.
We also paint graffiti in the Eastern Market. As it goes up, our students paint to take that down. But we'll also cut lots for free if the grass is high. So if you give me your name and number, we'll also have students that volunteer to do that as part of their service learning.
Yes, sir.
The people, tag on his question, the people that you hired, how did it come about? How did they get the job? What was the process, and who chose them for the position?
It was early on in the process, and we asked a couple of the local churches to get involved and help identify people that they felt were, people in the community that knew a lot of the community members, and we basically went on their word that the people that we were hiring were worthwhile people, and they weren't wrong. So we actually got the input from people in the community.
And y'all did the hire?
Yeah, we did that. Yeah.
Are there any other new topics that haven't been raised? Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to tag on to that one too myself. You say that the people you hired, how far back was that?
How far back is that what you said?
When was this?
The door-to-door survey was last summer, end of last summer. So it's been about 10 months since we did the door-to-door survey. Because we don't have any land, we don't have any buildings, although we have had a number of businesses that have approached us to do different projects. We haven't put out any more offers to hire anybody because we haven't had any need for employees. But hopefully, over the course of the next couple of months, that's going to change pretty dramatically.
Yes.
Can I ask if anybody in the room today received any one of those surveys that live in the community, the 48207?
Did everybody hear the question? She's asking if anyone here received any of the surveys.
No. I did. There were some girls walking down the street and it was last summer.
So I don't know why people would not have received them. We did 3 passes in the entire neighborhood with 8 people. We have all the filled out forms, over 1,200 of them. They're all mapped on this map with the addresses.
There's only about 600 people on that map that have been surveyed, and I'm sorry, I've been working on it all week, but I've been looking at the survey, and there were 1,700 addresses documented and questions answered for each of them.
And we will have those available. They're ready to go online.
See, things like that would get us in an uproar.
Right.
You did not talk to 1,700. It probably ain't even 1,700 over here.
Okay, I'm not going to challenge whether we did or not. I know that the work was done, and I know that we have the surveys. Hold on.
You got to be there. It ain't much room for nobody.
I'm just trying to, please go on.
And say that it seems like people's concern is like just that how is the community involved, and I guess that's kind of the emotion that seems to be in the air. Just trying to articulate that.
I think you're right on the money about that. Please.
I passed out flyers for community meetings, and I asked questions of my fellow neighbors and community members. And most of the people, when I talked to them about RecoveryPark, said, I never heard of that. And I went actually door to door, and I talked to a lot of people. Most of, I say 98.9% never heard of you, never received a survey, never heard about these meetings. And that's what brings the distrust with the community. Because you're up here and you're saying like, oh, we talked to 1,700 people, we got these surveys, and we call them BS because we are the community and we know that you have not talked to us.
That sounds like quite a strong defense. So, obviously there are documents.
Who filled them out?
It's like the whole paper.
So people that we have. So the people that we hired went door to door, and we requested that the people at those residences and those businesses and those churches fill them out. And
What area did you survey?
we surveyed, hold on. We surveyed the entire area from Verner to 94, St. Albans to Mount Elliott. We did 3 passes of the entire neighborhood. We went out Monday through Saturday. We went out at different times during the day. We have all the documentation that's getting ready to go online.
So, everybody who's here, not to be flippant, is here. And this seems like a great opportunity to do at least an informal survey right here. I mean, what are some of the key questions?
We need to start over so these folks can catch up to where y'all at. Y'all so far, these like new folks that don't really know how far y'all have begun. They don't really understand that y'all have been on this, literally working hard for 2 years at least.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the planning stage before actually doing the 2 years. So these folks is like babies. They don't know nothing about this. So we're trying to really just get the knowledge out. We kind of need to start fresh. Kind of like RecoveryPark should come to us all over again. And that way we can tag team and we can guarantee as community and want to work with RecoveryPark, I apologize. We can do it as a community, we can come together. And then we'll feel like we're more of a community and we do have some say-so and we will feel somewhat, at least somewhat secure. We don't want to get every time we ask about our house, our land. There's really no questions no one can ask. But you want to come and do great things for us. But when we ask for the things that we're concerned about would be great things for us, it's never nothing you can really do about it or it's never really no mention about it. So back to what I was saying is, so some of these folks are like babies. These are first, second, maybe third meetings. This has been going on for 2 years. Let's start over.
Hearing that a lot of people, it's their first time in the conversation. We heard that earlier. Hearing that the survey was one of the first elements of the outreach.
They didn't get them. I don't know who did them.
I understand that. I understand
Very
that.
poor job.
That's why I'm suggesting that we continue the dialogue face to face around some of those initial fundamental questions right now. Because that is how the conversation's been going.
Agree, but one of the things that I'm worried about, I'm myself personally worried and concerned about, I do know after so long that you have your meetings and you go through this process, it's only so long that the people have a chance to stand up and do anything. If we miss that window, we just got to go with the program. And I don't want to miss that window. I want to be there before.
A great
we just
point.
got to go
You're
with
making
the
a
flow.
great point in terms of how far down the road is the plan still shapeable. Is that right? Can you still influence it? And that's also why I was asking Gary to speak earlier about his sequence and the process, and that it's really envisioned to be individual pieces over a long period of time. So there's going to be continually opportunity to have fresh dialogue for every segment of the business model. So there's not only the conversation of the whole that we're having right now, but there's going to be repeated conversations. For example, there's a concept possibility about aqua farming. There's a concept about taking on the public school land.
Guy, can you explain what aqua farming is?
Aqua farming is fish. It's basically be an indoor production facility for raising fish.
Fish farm.
A fish farm, but it's indoors, usually in some kind of large commercial structure. So my point though is that for every small area of town, depending on the land available and the buildings available, that lends itself to different types of businesses. So when you were asking earlier about what would be the percentage and how would the benefits impact the local neighborhoods, those things, those conversations have to occur fresh with each module of the big plan.
Yeah, but see, my only, it's always with y'all big plan. It's really nothing about our big plan, and I really just feel that it should start from our big plan. I mean, y'all really talk about nothing about how y'all really going to bring our community together besides just bring money and jobs that we don't know if we gonna get, maybe gonna get, really not for sure of that, but
I
my
think
point
this is
is,
what we were
that's
trying to
not-
segue